Hey everyone, this is Raptor's Blog, and welcome to another anime discussion series. Today's anime discussion is going to be on this special question that came from the cartoon guy, and he asked, "How do we treat reboots and spin-offs compared to the originals? Do we treat them unfairly, or are we justifying how we treated them?" Samples would be like Teen Titans to Teen Titans Go, Scooby Doo Where Are You to Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated to Be Cool Scooby Doo, or the Powerpuff Girls to the Powerpuff Girls reboot. And this was requested by the cartoon guy. So if you want to check out his channel, there's a link to his channel in the description box below. But let's get on to this question. So how do we treat reboots and spinoffs? I think this is a really good question because lately there's been a lot of reboots and spinoffs coming out lately, and you got reboots and spinoffs like Teen Titans Go to Teen Titans, the new Powerpuff Girls reboot that was just released, all the Scooby Doo reboots that were released. So there's been a lot of reboots and spin-offs coming out, older TV shows out lately. So how do we treat them? Like, do we treat them unfairly, or are we justify in our actions? I think there's two ways to look at this. Let's look at the reasons where we're justified and why we treat reboots the way we do. Like some people do treat some of these reboots negatively, but there's some reasons why, I can see why a lot of people are kind of unsure about these reboots because one example would be like Teen Titans Go, how a lot of fans hated that show because it's nothing like the original Teen Titans. I think fans are kind of justified and like being unsure of these reboots if the reboots start changing the concept from the original series. Like, you watch this reboot series and it's nothing at all like the original series. Like, for example, say we decide to do Rainbow Bright reboot, and the reboot was really about Rainbow Bright being in high school, having all these teenage troubles. But the original Rainbow Bright was more like Rainbow Bright trying to save the world using her rainbow powers. So I can see where a lot of fans would be really upset about that because that has nothing to do with the original Rainbow Bright, and it's like they just took that concept, they just basically took Rainbow Bright's name and just said, "Oh well, this is still a reboot because it's still about Rainbow Bright. It's just we're doing something way different with her. Like, we're not having a show being focused on her powers. We're just having a show about her being in high school and stuff like that." But I can see why a lot of fans wouldn't like that because it has nothing to do with the original series. And yeah, me personally, I don't like it when they do that. When they make a reboot, it has nothing to do with the original series. Like, it's completely different. So I think it's justified. A lot of fans are justified if the reboot does something totally different with the original series and it has nothing to do in concept with what the original series was trying to say. I think another reason why a lot of fans are kind of unsure about these new reboots is that it could be because sometimes, well, at least for me, sometimes I worried that the new reboots are going to overtake the originals. But as I'm starting to see now with Ninja Turtles and Transformers, a lot of people still go back to the original Ninja Turtles and the original Transformers, even though there's been tons and tons of reboots of both series for years. I think the only reboot series that I think compared to the original Transformers was probably Beast Wars. Like, a lot of people like Beast Wars, but they still go back to the original 1980s Transformers for verification. So I guess with the fear about reboots overtaking the originals, I think it actually causes people to like want to look at the originals a lot more these days because it's like they want to know where did these series actually originated from, and how were the original series like originally before they got rebooted. So I think it does generate having a reboot of a series does generate a sort of interest in the fan base, what the original series was all about. So those are reasons. Those are some reasons where I think it's justified. Where fans are kind of unsure about the reboots. If the reboot changed what the original concept was in the original series, or like sometimes there's that fear that the reboots might overtake the originals, but I'm starting to see that that's not really happening nowadays. So those are two reasons I think fans are justified and being unsure about reboots. Now here's why I think they're kind of unjustified. Like, one of the reasons is if the fans said, "Oh well, this is not the original, so I'm not giving this reboot a chance," I'd be like, maybe you should try to I would try to give that reboot a chance. Like, it could be better than the original, or it could be on par with the original. Who knows? So I would say, give reboots a chance sometimes, because they could be good, they could be bad. It depends, what the creators are going to do with the new series. Like, if they wanted to make it completely different, then I can see why fans would be upset with that. But if it's something on par with the original series, like some reboots I liked was the most of the reboots in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because at least they kept the concept of the Ninja Turtles through all the reboots. The Turtles had to fight against Shredder. They were mutated by Mutagen. Master Splinter's their father figure. All those were pretty much kept intact in all the reboots of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So it's like, I don't have to really worry too much about how they do the Ninja Turtle story, as long as they still kept the core concept from the original series. But yeah, I would try to give reboots a chance, just to see what they're like. They could be good, they could be bad. We don't know. Another reason where I think they're kind of unjustified is, I mentioned earlier today, is that some people might think that the reboots might overtake the originals, but I'm starting to see now that it actually caused a lot of newer fans to like go back and watch the originals to see what they were all about. So the good thing about reboots is that they cause the fan base to actually go back and see the originals, just to see where these shows originated from, and see if it could compare, if it could compare to the newer series, or vice versa with the older fans. So, I think reboots is a good way to like help introduce the newer fans to the older material if they're interested. And I've been seeing that a lot with the Ninja Turtles and Transformers, that a lot of people still want to go back to the original 1987 Ninja Turtles, or they want to see what the original Transformers was all about. So I think that's I do think fans might be, the viewpoint about reboots being bad might be unjustified, where fans will say, "Oh, well, it ruined the original." Not really. It might cause a lot of fans to go back to the original, or it might cause a lot of fans to not watch the original. It's up to them. But I do think it gives more awareness to the originals, because I don't think a lot of people would have known some of the original series if the reboots didn't happen. So it wouldn't cause people to be like, well, where did this show originated from? Let's see what the original was all about. So I do think it's kind of, those are two reasons why I think the viewpoints about reboots and spin-offs might be unjustified, is if fans don't really give the reboots a chance, and if fans don't see that reboots can actually be a positive thing by letting more of the new generation go back and see what the original series was all about, rather than be like, oh, well, reboots ruin everything. Not necessarily. It could help out things whenever they can. So what are your thoughts about this? How do you think the fan base treats reboots and spinoffs in general? Do you think that having reboots is a good thing, or do you think having reboots is a bad thing? What are your thoughts? Please feel free to comment below, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter so we can keep you updated any new videos we post up, and also like our Facebook page, Rabbit Animation Bliss. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rabbit Ear's blog of Animation Bliss, and I'll see you later.